30. Thank you. Get it right, I retorted. You're old. If you don't watch it, I'll stop feeding you, I warned him. Purple tigers? Ah, this ought to be good. You old school fogies limping around the dance floor to Al Green. No, The Temptations, Sly and the Family Stone, Earth, Wind, and Fire, I countered. I was remembering the wonderful music. And there isn't anything old school about it. It's just real music, where people actually play the instruments. You know, musical instruments, saxophones, trumpets, guitars. Keith shook his head and took another monstrous bite. Yeah, whatever. You're going, right? He patted me on the top of my head. One of the lovely things about having a nearly grown son is that when he gets to be taller than you are, he treats you like an armrest. Go away, shoo, I said, pushing his 200-pound frame toward the kitchen where it belonged. Don't forget we have to talk about that football camp this evening. Oh, and that girl called again. I call her that girl because she has one of those amazing names that I can't pronounce. La on the front end and Ishel on the back end. As my great-grandmother would say, mercy. Okay, but you should go, Ma. You don't look bad for an old lady. A little short, but I love compliments. Beat it before I throw something at you, I yelled after him. I looked at the invitation again. Had it really been 30 years? It seemed like only yesterday that I had nearly been suspended for. Now I was sounding like an old-school fogey. Of course it had been 30 years. I'd been to college, married, had 2 babies, divorced, married again, had 1 more baby, worked at 3 companies, 1 university, and 1 junior college, done innumerable loads of laundry, been a room mother 300 times, cheered soccer, football, and volleyball games, and made more chili and Rice Krispie treats than I care to think about. Not to mention the gray hair that I religiously color every 4 weeks, and the extra 10 pounds I was carrying around. Okay, 15 pounds. Oh, yes, and those babies grew up. Becca was in San Francisco preparing to make me a grandmother. Yikes. Candace had just finished her master's degree and was spending the summer in Italy. Keith was headed toward his senior year in high school. And there were the other things. 30 years ago, my parents still lived on Greenway Avenue in a little beige stucco house. Our German Shepherd Ranger held court in the backyard, and Mrs. Adams poked her nose over the fence, complaining about his barking. My oldest sister, Pat, would have been in the bathroom in front of the mirror combing her hair this way and that. My youngest sister, Jean, would have been in the window seat, coloring. Grandma Jane lived on the next block. The Methodist minister lived around the corner. Time didn't march on. It flew at light speed. Dad was gone now, and Mother sold the little house and lived in a condo on the other side of town. Pat and her family live in Denver, and Jean is stationed in Washington, D.C. My baby sister is a major in the U.S. Army. Grandma's gone, the Reverend is gone, and Ranger was the third of several dogs by the same name, all of which were buried with pomp and circumstance, and heartfelt tears in the backyard beneath the old maple tree. Thank God for the memories. My high school yearbooks rest on the top of the bookshelf in the family room. Keith leafs through them and makes fun of the way we dressed back in the olden days, especially our afros. Of course, everything comes back, and now that bell-bottoms are on the runways in New York, my long-haired son looks at my high school picture with more respect. We were trendsetters. I pick up the book from 1971, which is my favorite year. I flip through it whenever I want to feel good. It's like a worn house slipper, completely broken in. It's like meatloaf and mashed potatoes made with whole milk and butter, and I always open it to the same page. There we are. It's the picture of the National Honor Society, and we're standing in the front row. Me, Audrey, Reenie, and Sue. Best friends since elementary and